Alright. Streamy time. It's Saturday, it is a long weekend in Japan, and I am ready to watch some chess. Alright, we should be catching about 4 or 5 games, I believe. Slightly softer, please. Thank you. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay, so we've got one more game supposed to start very soon. Guitarspider and drchessdad. Very excited for them. But we actually have a few games that... Oh, we have one game that's been running for a while. I think bufferunderrun and jpgmich actually started their game a bit earlier. So, let's start with... Oh, hello. I made a mistake. Let's start with them. Open up these games. There we go. Okay, let's have a look at what bufferunderrun and jpgmich have done, because they've been playing for a while already. And then we can keep going. Hey Val! I'm ready for you tomorrow, hey? I'm going to be streaming tomorrow evening again, slightly earlier, but I'll be catching your game as well, because I think this is exactly the time you'll start tomorrow in one day, né? Alright, but for now we're just going to sit back and relax and enjoy some other people's games, so let's have a look. jpgmich and bufferunderrun. I've been playing for a while. I actually think I watched a bit of this game already, yeah, so d4 opening, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, so this could be a nimzo, or a few other options still. Bufferunderrun goes for d5, alright, so this is just a queen's gambit exchanged. Bishop g5, this was my go-to before I started playing the London, the Gatland, sorry, I haven't played the London. And take, okay, I don't think this is mainline theory, so this is kind of like a late queen's gambit accepted with e6. I don't think this is especially good for black. Maybe bufferunderrun is just looking to get out of theory or any kind of dangerous prep, right? It's 11 for me. This is 11 o'clock in the evening. Hey Jim, konbanwa, konbanwa, genki desu ka? It's 11 o'clock in Japan already. So I'm probably going to be doing for like an hour and a half. I want to try catch a few games at least. But at some point I'll probably have to go sleep, because tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock local time is my game. Unlike the other weeks so far, I'm actually going to play my game in the morning this time, because there wasn't really any other time that suited me and my opponent. Alright, e3. I think there's also e4 here. There's also something like h4, though I think less needed now, because you already have your knight defending against b4, so this pawn isn't really going to stick around. You have this as well, but it's kind of unnecessary, so it's probably these are your two main moves to consider. So e3, c5, always a good move versus a d4 opening, obviously. Takes the pawn with the bishop, takes this, and now we have a IQP, alright. Maybe this is what black was going for, just to create the IQP off the bat. I wonder if white could have avoided it. Not really. I guess they could have traded queens, like just take here. Anyway, IQP situation, small developing move, castle. Yeah, it looks fine. More development, maybe h6 is coming at a point, just pushing this dark square bishop away, right? Genki desu. Ashita ganbatte kudasai. Oh yeah, I'll do my best tomorrow, man. Thank you very much. My team is doing really well, so the pressure is on. Since I'm the only one that hasn't actually won a game in our team so far. I just drew last week, but everyone else won their games, so yeah, pressure is definitely on for me to try and do okay. Okay, yeah, so I'm thinking maybe g6 is coming at some point. Obviously the light square bishop is always a problem in these openings, so they have to try and make some plan with it, maybe along this short diagonal to give it some spots over here. Okay, okay, just white just steps out of that immediately, gets onto a more active diagonal. Alright, hits the light square bishop. Light square bishop, interesting, stays on this diagonal. It's not necessary really, it could have gone somewhere else, but it does stop anything funny from coming here. It does still eye that d5 square as well, so maybe that's part of the reason. Let's see. Oh no, okay, interesting. just bringing the dark square bishop around. So wanting to keep it there, I guess. And now this knight can't really hit it. You have to like do 2 jumps to hit it again. You can always take it back, so maybe this way as well. I'm not really sure what exactly white's going for here, but I guess also maybe they want to just connect with this pawn, maybe defend the IQ pawn from the front, IQP from the front, and then obviously if you take there, they can connect it on the E file again. I can hear myself in the back. Alright, a6, just getting some lift, covering the G4 square, takes, gonna retake with the B pawn, connect. Okay, so half open file, half open file, half open file, half open file. So you're expecting a lot of action over here on the queen side now, obviously. And this bishop doesn't have to stay there anymore now. It can obviously drop back quite safely as well. B5. Alright, so white's just gonna keep on pushing the queen side, liquidate the pawns, open up the game. Queen up. There is a little, you know, I don't know, you can defend against it, but there might be some little trickies here. Oh, okay, hello. I wasn't looking at the move, but it's exactly what white played. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so there's a few ways this could go, but it might force black to like take the, like for instance, if they go here, then they take here, then you still have to take there to avoid mate. You can't take back, so then black's pawns get a little bit messed up. Alright, they just go G6, never mind, get that out of here. Oh, this is where we are now. Okay, so we've caught up. Very nice, very nice. Interesting position. I don't think I've been in this kind of position with my games before. I'm expecting white wants to bring out some of their rooks at some point, unless they're feeling very, you know, short term, make a plan. They can try and push on pressure on this knight somehow. But I'm expecting... yeah, quick look. They also obviously have this sack, so they could take this pawn here. If you take back, they can take, and then they'd be hitting your queen and your rook, so they'd get 2 pawns and a rook for these 2 minor pieces. Could be good enough, but I think 2 bishops and a knight are still plenty for black, so I don't know, maybe white is kind of measuring up if that might be worth it or not. I guess we'll see. Wow. Got myself some rooibos tea, always very nice, always very good. Let's try and go over, let's just, oh yeah, I was going to say there should be one more game here. So gratis is one we don't have yet. Oh no, this is the one we don't have yet, right? Freddy, yeah, Freddy, this is the one we don't have. There we go. Alright, so now we've got all the games. So let's go and look at the other ones. Here we've got ribrubrib versus MatthewKCanada. I think we saw ribrubrib last week as well, actually. In one of, actually, was it exactly the same time slot as well? Because I remember I was trying to stay awake for some games, and this I think was one of them. Alright, so ribrubrib is white. They go E4, D4, E5. Alright, coming out with a scotch, is it? D4, takes the pawn, takes the knight, pins the knight, unpins. Oh, is F3 the move? I guess it is still okay. Oh, is it? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like F3 isn't the right move. D5. Oh, okay, yeah, this is exactly where you are. I have a feeling that I think here you had to like unblock some other way. I don't remember the theory at all. Maybe you have to take here, and then when they take, you defend with your queen so they can't take your knight like there. Maybe that's the move? I'm not sure F3 is the move. D5. I think that's just oopsie, that's just a problemo situation. Tricky. Maybe you can try and play off something here, take that, and take here, so if you go here, they take, you take here, hitting the knight, hitting the queen. They'll take here, you have to move your king up. That's tough. But eventually, obviously, if they do take, you can take again with check. So, yeah, maybe this is a move. Not sure if there's anything else immediate. Alright, so that's one of the games we'll be following. Next one, Kezberg versus Oxnateri. I also think Oxnateri is one of the players I saw last weekend. So maybe we're catching people who kind of have a similar availability every week, and this is why their games are on these slots. So e4, c5, we've got a Sicilian, knight f3, a6, we've got an O'Kelly, hello, d4, hello, oh, okay, d5, oh wow, okay, d5, oh cool, this is really cool. Okay, so I really like black side of this. I myself have used the O'Kelly as well. For anyone who doesn't know, the O'Kelly is this move here. And the point of this is that you cover off b5, because if you're playing the Sveshnikov with e5 later on, the main line for white goes after e5 pawn to jump their knight to b5, because their knight and queen hit your d6 square, and then you have to play d6 to prevent the whole thing from collapsing. But if you have a6 on the board already, then they can't play knight b5, and so they'd have to play just an inferior move over here or over here or over here, all the ones. I think the back two are just kind of slightly worse. I think this one is actually a little bit more dangerous, because white can then undermine, black can undermine with d5. Anyway, a very easy way to just not fall into this is just to play like c3 or c4 though. So if you know though Kelly as the white player, you can just avoid that problem altogether. You don't have to play into this advantageous Sveshnikov that black is trying to get into. Alright, but white didn't quite know that, I guess, and has played directly into that. So, you know, they're not losing because of this move, it's just slightly worse. That's really all. Okay. So, yeah, these situations, this pawn is hanging, but then this pawn is now also hanging. There's a lot of stuff going on. Queen up, pretty defensive move, not bad. And d6. Alright, so black will be happy, I guess, to get the dark square bishop outside of this pawn chain. But they have to make good use of it, because I actually think I have, hang on, let me look at this backwards. I don't know if that's the best. That's good, that's good. Actually wonder if you should sack that pawn, maybe castle for black. Because if they take it, you can hit the knight again. Maybe they defend with f4, and then it's all messy though. Because otherwise you get triple pressure on that pawn, so you could crush through in a pretty great way. Anyway, didn't do that. Just d6, bishop e2, castle. Okay. I guess the only thing that black already got done with their O'Kelly then is the fact that they have a6 on the board anyway, and the dark square bishop is outside of the pawn chain that they set up. It's okay, I guess. I feel like there might have been something better here, but I'm not remembering exactly. But I feel like here, I mean, maybe even this, because after they take you, yeah, actually, no, maybe d5 is the move. Because if white takes, you get e4 in, and then you're hitting the queen and the knight. I mean, they can like pin the pawn. They can pin the pawn versus your king, and then you can like castle, and then they can jump their knight somewhere. But I think that's kind of how you get an advantage in this situation. You know, having the successful O'Kelly on the board. So maybe d6 was not quite the best move. Alright, well, it's a game, we'll see. Let's keep moving along and see what's happening in the other games. Oh, robust tea. So delish. Okay, here we go. Hey, Mr. Scribbs is in the chat for this one, so I guess maybe this is their teammate. I realize I've been keeping all the board sounds off. Maybe it feels weird not to have sounds of the pieces moving around. So c4, okay. One of those players. I'm not really a c4 player, but I think I want to learn like the what do you call it? The King's Indian attack, the Zuckertort, the what's knight f3 on move 1? Anyway, all of those things can kind of like transpose into the Catalan or the English or something, so maybe one day I will learn all of these things. Anyway, c4, knight f6, okay, g3, just going straight into that fianchetto structure, d6, also fianchettoing, c4, this is looking like a Catalan now. They just have to get their knight out and castles, so starting with c4 looked different, but it's actually just kind of coming back into something we know. Okay, c4, d5, knight out. I mean, I guess that's fine, but I think this was actually the right move. Now you're kind of forcing them to take, I think. Well, I guess not really, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably either. Alright, c6. Oh, okay. Okay. I like this. This is obviously good for white, right? You want to try and break down this diagonal. So being able to take makes it, you know, one pawn weaker potentially. Although they obviously still have the e pawn to protect it. Alright. Yeah, there's the e pawn protecting it. Castle. Okay, so very symmetrical. We just need these two moves and then we're in an exactly symmetrical game. Rook e1, looking for that e4 push. Looking to break through. That feels like a really high level move because personally in my head, I don't want to break through now. I'm just going to get an IQP with like no idea what to do. But okay. Knight c6. Alright, this is, as in all Catalans, always a nice diagonal for your dark square bishop. I definitely would have moved my queen normally, but I guess it's not necessary if you're not immediately breaking and you don't have to worry about this pawn situation. Still symmetrical. Oh, okay. And unfortunately didn't quite see the threat here with that square being a bit weak. So this is dangerous. This is dangerous. This is less dangerous, but also frustrating, I guess. So you've got no knight that can cover that square for you. I guess what you could do is you could just move your rook back. What to do? Can you find some kind of counter here? I guess one way to do it maybe is to try and hit the dark square bishop. So they jump over, you take the bishop, they take something here, and then you can desperado your knight, kind of, you know, take here. Best version for white would be they took your rook here, so they take there. And then you can take a rook. And their knight is still trapped and can only take a pawn as the best option. So in that long about way, if black finds this move, that would mean lost. Oh, they do find it beautiful. Lost a rook, lost a rook. Lost a piece, lost a piece, lost a rook. And then, I don't know, maybe you take here first, then you take this back, then they take that. And now I have to count because I always get confused about how many things are down. Who lost more? You can see I haven't had to actually calculate in a long time. It's a really interesting line though, for sure. Alright, but if I'm counting this correctly, it's a bad move for white because they end up losing a piece for a pawn. So we'll have to see if they go down that. So many games. Freddy. Does everyone know Freddy? Why is everyone talking about Freddy? Mr. Scrubs is like, Greggy, Grady, Fredward, Fredwardo, Frumple, still skin. And everyone else is just saying, Freddy, go Freddy. Alright, so Freddy, go Freddy, let's go Freddy. Fair enough. Anyway, very interesting line. I want to go to the last game, and then I'm actually going to go backwards on this one, because I really want to see if white decides to go anyway. They shouldn't. It does not look like a good idea. But it might just be so tempting, and maybe they don't calculate all the way and they think that they get something good. Unless maybe even I didn't calculate all the way, but I think at this point you do finish. Alright, let's have a look here. This is guitarspider versus chessdad. Let's go spider. I'm on spider side because I've got to be on someone's side. Although as soon as I'm a father, I will be on chessdad's side. And I will go ask them for some help. Although they're Dr. Chessdad, so I feel like they're a little bit kind of more fancy because they're a doctor. I can do the chess and the dad part, but I don't think I will ever be a doctor, even a doctorate, because I'm not doing that kind of academical stuff. So, guitarspider goes for e4, and oh, okay, Dr. Chessgate goes for e6, so this can transpose into some other things. This could be the, what did the Ginger GM guy talk about? The Black Lion something, which I kind of forgot exactly what it is, but I think it's like this, I don't know, Black Lion, I don't remember what the Black Lion was about. Anyway, yeah, I mean, if they're not going to take the center, you play the other big pawn. Okay, and now we're just in like a French. Okay. Oh, was this the point? They were just going to play into a French? Interesting. I haven't played the French in so long, I kind of forgot that that's something people do. Alright, so advanced French and bishop d7 first is definitely not a main line to any degree. It's fine though, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay. Trying to just trade off the terrible French bishop immediately, I think. Yeah, just take my terrible bishop, and I'll develop the rest of my life. Okay, so if anyone's ever wondering about the light square bishop in French and why you would go through all of this trouble, it is the piece that gives you the biggest heartaches and headaches, right? So if you can trade off the French bishop, then black really has no immense weaknesses and problems. In a situation like this for black, when they have not a lot of space because they're playing kind of, like a slightly passive starting setup, they're going to develop their pieces and then they're going to expand. Having less pieces on the board is better. So in white's mind, trading off a pair of minor pieces is actually not that great. Even if you get this, not only does black get a little bit of action on the half open file, but black has their worst piece taken out of the game early, and black has one less piece to try and develop and make space for. So, kind of on a principle level, principally on a principle level, which way should I say this? Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of upsides for black to just kind of doing this extra dance with the light square bishop, just getting out of the game early. Alright, queen up early as well. Trying to hit that pawn, defends it. This obviously does take away the natural square for this knight, although I guess he could also go this way and then somewhere else, or here and then somewhere. Okay, there's also a point maybe at some point where they like try and push and break the queen side with their pawns, just developing. Oh, I've got the wrong game sound on. I'm gonna forget about the sound all the time, aren't I? Alright, rook over. Oh, interesting. Killer Saba. Killer Saba, I don't know if you're watching the stream. Thank you very much if you are, but I'm currently not in a position to be accepting any games, so I will say thank you, but no thank you. There's a drop-down menu here. Oh, oh my goodness, I've never tried this. This is not the right time for me. Please, I can later. Um, okay, cool. I'm just cool. There's like pre-organized little like rejection messages. I didn't know we have that. That's flippin' awesome. All right, cool, cool, cool stuff. All right, so rook over for me. I see slightly less clarity for that. I don't think there's a rook lift. Maybe they're anticipating that black is going to try open up with f6. And now they've got pressure on the e6 pawn already. Alright, looks like black's just going to continue moving their knight over to that juicy square over there. Yeah, and white doesn't seem to want to stop them. You're welcome to try it. Okay, very nice. This is always nice if you have played this normally and taken, because then in a normal case you get two of your knights hitting the d4 square and you can put a lot of pressure on that pawn. But that doesn't really translate directly now, so I guess this is more just trying to make space for the dark square bishop. Okay, king just wait. Oh man, guys, you play some high level games here. King h1. Okay, first thought, probably want to play g4 and you want to put a rook on that file and just, you know, if you look at white's pawn structure, it's all, you know, king side related. You want to come and crash on the king. Second thought is white wasn't sure what to do and they were just like, screw it, I'll just give them a move. So just like move their king. h5, okay, well black's not going to fall for this whole situation of I want to play g4, so immediately shuts it down. Obviously creates some potential weaknesses over here, but the game's pretty locked up, so there's no immediate threat that they're going to get crushed. They could even castle queenside still for now. Alright, another move that for me looks a little bit like white is kind of waiting. Moving the bishop, moving the rook over here helps defend against the knight jump, I guess. Alright, and black's like, well cool man, let me go then. Very nice. I love this, g5. I'm loving chessdad's play. Guitarspider, I'm on your side, but I'm really enjoying black's play here. This is super interesting. Alright, knight f1, opening up the dark square bishop, hitting that pawn, also maybe bringing the knight over to one of the other more active squares, but no longer defending against the c4 knight jump. Alright, continues pushing. That knight can jump over here and jump into the oh no, you can't go. What am I talking about? You can go there, but you'll get pushed off. Not immediately though, because you could also go there. So maybe, would you do that here and then they have to just move their queen once and then you're screwed? What would you do from there? Can't do anything. Yeah, okay. You're probably going to jump backwards then, aren't you? Alright, decides I'm going to hit the queen first. So you can trade off the dark square bishop here, and after that you can push, and after that you can take with your queen, and then you can castle queen side, and then you have a lot of action on the king side as black, with most of the like queen side kind of stable. Yeah, defense, takes. Now I want to see f6 from black. Oh, this is exactly where we are. Okay. Very, very interesting game. This is so cool. I really like this. I don't see an interesting French often, and I used to play it so much. Me and Meekly Dome used to play the French big time, and both of us eventually decided there are far more enjoyable things in life than playing the French, so we stopped. But this is a very interesting French, and also the fact that, although as I said, right, the French starts off kind of passive with these two pawn moves, but look at the board. Like black's the one pushing out of the queen side, black's the one with this kind of like additional pawns on the king side, on the queen side as well. White's got only one pawn pressed forward, and it's obviously a strong one. You know, it's keeping the middle of the board locked up and also keeping black from using these squares. But yeah, black's got a lot going for them. I actually wonder if they will eventually jump and then just kind of take. I guess the one thing that's maybe not so good for them with that is that there might be just a bit too much pressure. White can kind of counter their pawn structure and eventually break it down from the front. Maybe it would work out so good for them. Okay, 1 second. The music isn't too loud, right? I feel like okay, I did adjust it, sorry. I thought I left it very loud, maybe that's no good. Okay, let's go back to the start then. Here we go. Last time we were looking at bufferunderrun versus jpgmich, not sure which. We were considering, the knight was over here, we were considering that they could take their, yeah, this is the position we were in. Wondering if they would be interested in doing this trade, 2 pawns and a rook for, oh, I didn't turn this one off. Silent. 2 pawns and a rook for 2 minor pieces. Evidently white thought that was a trash trade and they did not do it. I do wonder now though if they maybe want to move the dark square bishop and put the knight on e5. That seems like it would be pretty good spot for a knight, right? So I could see that being useful. Alright, black continues solidifying. Rook over. Okay. I mean, white's definitely like trying to make some plan towards the king, I think, but currently looks like they don't quite have one. Ooh, okay. It's not that bad. Oh, no. It's not even 12 yet, I'm already yawning. It's not so bad if you let black take here, I guess. You do get to connect your isolated egg pawn. Sorry, just plugging in my computer. Get some power. Then again, if you take, then you can play c4. They'd have to take. You still have an isolated pawn though, so maybe that's not so nice. No, okay, I'm not taking as white. Okay, yeah. So they are actually making space for their rook, maybe there. Rook over c4. Yeah, now you definitely don't want to, because if they take, then you open up pressure on the a pawn, so it looks good. There's the knight spot. Yeah, very nice. And this is where we are now. Okay. Yeah, so for black, their queen hasn't moved yet, so this looks like maybe they can get it out. I don't know, maybe over here, or even over, well, probably not going to be over here, right? Also walks into a potential tricky here if there's something that's happening. I like this, to be honest. Gets the queen off the back rank, puts pressure on the c-pawn. You could also just go here, I guess, and then just put it behind these pawns and keep pushing. That might be good too. Or put it here, and then maybe you can even push like this. Just force that bishop to make a decision, either come for you or don't. That does leave you with a backwards b-pawn though, which is not the best. But after your knight takes, might be interesting as well. What to do here? Yeah, I feel like black should be getting that king off the back rank somehow. Ugh, the queen, what am I saying? I also realized that maybe I missed something. Oh, I did. And I wonder if white maybe, well, white probably didn't miss it. After this knight move, this square was not fully protected. The bishop and the knight had access to it, so one of them could have come here. You know, black could have messed the queen around, and if it didn't keep on protecting the knight, they could have taken maybe even and doubled the pawn. So with this move, white would have had to go somewhere here. To keep an eye on the knight. Okay, so now rook fe1 makes a bit more sense. I was just missing the weak square in white's camp. Yeah. Interesting. They still have this move again as well. I really think the queen needs to get off the back rank, but they still have this move. They want to. After the bishop, I'm guessing, falls back. You could even bring your bishop out and take control of this diagonal, or over here and just put some more pressure on the knight. Well, I guess then you have to take with your queen. You probably want to take with your knight, ideally. Yeah. Yes, I guess here's an option. Here's the other move I like. Also this one. Like b6 is probably the right move. A5 seems a little bit wishful. Like, you know, playing hope chess. Maybe this one also like helps with your dark square bishop getting some action down this diagonal maybe. Oh my goodness, buffer underrun is incredibly low on time though in comparison to the opponent. I just realized now, 2.5 minutes versus 20. So they have been in the tank quite a bit. Not the best time management unfortunately for them. So putting themselves under quite a bit of pressure from the clock as well. Alright, let's continue to the next game. And we'll hopefully be catching them. I can't imagine they'll be running out of time on the clock though, so we should be okay to be able to catch it again. Last here we looked at d5, yeah, and we saw that this looks a bit scary. Bishop e5 was kind of the idea I saw. Maybe that works. Defends it first. Takes. Okay, still loses the knight unfortunately. At least you messed up Black's pawn situation. Oh my goodness. That is very unfortunate. You just walk into the same pin twice by taking with the bishop. Here and then again. Oh, that is rough. Oh man, rib, you are having a tough time, man. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, because you're hitting the pawn here. I was going to say, why don't you just... Okay, so now you have to take, and then you move the pawn, castle. Okay, so tough one. Just down a piece. I feel like I miscounted somewhere. I absolutely did. I forgot that the first knight took the pawn. Okay, so black was actually only up a pawn at the start. Okay, but in this situation you had to take with your pawn, otherwise you walked into the pin properly, unfortunately. Okay, so white is down that light square bishop. Okay, everything is making a bit more sense. But they are up a pawn, and up a pawn it's like a pawn structure as well, so not all is lost. Definitely you can see people coming back from worse positions. I think I would have gone here and then just moved my king up. I don't specifically like the d2 square for the bishop, but you know, life. You go there anyway now. Oh, and now you have to run away because they... Oh, look at this. And they just like try and get a perpetual just like this. You know, up a piece and then you perpetual out. Whoops. Okay, and this is where we are right now. So for black situation, I mean, I don't think white has any immediate massive threats. I would probably just come over here and try hit that b pawn. If they protect it, you can even do some scaling move like this just to kind of force them to push it, and then you can put some pressure somewhere else again. You also have infiltration, which is very, very good. So just rook e2, and then after they, I don't know, defend or put a rook somewhere, then you just put your other rook over. Yeah, I actually like that more. I think this is quite a good move for... This is quite a good move for black. Just getting in there. Pretty good now, pretty good, yes. I would say this is pretty good. There we go. Alright, well we're all caught up on that one. I actually want to go back to bufferunderrun quickly, see what they did. Okay, they did go for knight h5. And they did knight h5 after their clock dropped down to 1 minute because they only got 42 seconds over a minute. So they were actually on 58 seconds when they confirmed the move or played the move, whatever they were doing. Okay, and black, white is not going to give them time to sit around. Hits the rook. Okay, nice block by the knight though, that's pretty good. Good place for the knight as well, I think that's quite a safe square for it to keep. If you started moving your rook around, and now suddenly this pawn is really weak, so you'd have to take and then go here, and then actually I think that might be like ways of getting mated. If you try to run away, it's just queen in. Getting close. This can also hit. Oh, I don't know. Probably not mate yet, but very scary, so good block. Okay, let's continue. We were still trying to catch up a few more games. This one. Alright, this was the O'Kelly. Yeah. I have to double check what I'm watching to make sure I get my memory back. Alright, so this is the O'Kelly that White didn't know about or didn't understand what they should do against it or what would happen. So Queen d3, and then here this position, although black played d6, I'm pretty sure d5 is the best move to kind of try and take advantage of the situation. d6 is fine. It's not blunders or anything. Just you've had a successful O'Kelly, so what do you do with that? I think d5 was the move there. Bishop e2, castles. This is where we were last time. Alright, and b5. Pretty standard. So this is getting more and more close to just what a standard Sveshnikov looks like, although this knight is on the wrong side of the board and this bishop is normally sitting behind the pawn structure on one of these squares. Alright, bishop out. Knight gets a really nice jump, hitting them both, but you're going to have to take with your pawn, so debatable if it's perfect, but it does take away the c6 square from their knight. So it takes with the... Oh, that's smart. Okay, so this was obviously a bit of a mistake. Black was paying enough attention, because now they're going to do the move where they push the pawn, and I think this is what we just saw actually. So take that, take back, and then e4. Yeah, and now there's no moving the queen sideways to pin the pawn versus the king, so now it looks like White has just walked into a bit of a blunder, unfortunately. Is there anything they can do? Oh, okay, hang on. Not quite. They can move out of the way with their queen hitting this bishop. Oh, but then your other bishop is also hanging afterwards. Oh, no. It's like here, and then they take, and then you can take this bishop, and then they can take this bishop, so you're still in trouble. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, I think White's just down a piece, unfortunately. They do move, and Black correctly takes. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. So you can take here, but then you move this as well. So otherwise, you would take back with your bishop now, and then they just move this bishop. You just counter you even, or just move it back this way. It's also safe. Very nicely found by Black here. Taking not with the equal piece, which is the knight, but taking with the bishop, because you still get to push. And this is not why, but if you come back to here, don't think this is the best move. It's probably fine. I don't think it's like a blunder or anything, but don't think that was the best one for White. Are you making some more tea? Love you. Love you. Oh, it's not plugged in. Sorry, one second. Alright. I would love some hot water with that tea bag right there. Alright, getting tea made for me while streaming. This is the dream, guys. living the dream. Thanks, love. Okay. Alright, so nice find by Black. Very, very nice, taking with the bishop so that they have the e4 push. And this is something that I think I showed. This is kind of originally what I was showing with the point of d5 here, is that you get this push in because you make the e-pawn move and you're supporting with your knight. Oh well, so well done. Tough one for White. They do decide to just take back with their bishop. I think definitely correct move. There's just more pieces off. Black is that much closer to just being in a better position, so good call, I would say. Alright, let's continue on. Let's go back to Freddy. Freddy, the popular one, apparently. I feel like I need to learn who Freddy is. Freddy, who started with c4 and then played into a Catalan. Okay, castles, e4. The e4 move I was unsure about because it's normally for Oh, sorry, the E1, rook E1 is because it's normally support E4, but I wasn't really sure personally if I want to be um, pushing now and just getting myself IQP for no reason. I don't know. I'm not an expert in the Catalan for sure, so or in anything really. Obviously, we're all learning. Yeah, we saw this, okay, and then they found, yeah, okay, hang on, so they found H5, so let's see. Does white go for it? In my calculation, it looked like it was a mistake. They do, oh, exciting. Takes, and now they had to take the the E rook, very good. Takes the bishop, takes the, oh no, don't take the bishop. Okay, and then take the knight. Oh, okay, that's unfortunate. Okay, so white now is just down, um, well, I don't know. I feel like down a piece now. They 2 minus for a rook, right? So I would say that's maybe not the best. Oh, it's actually 2 bishops for a rook. Dawn, eh? I used to always think that a rook and a pawn is 6 points. So a bishop and a knight is 6 points. So it's not that different, right? I always thought, but unfortunately, having 2 actual active pieces versus only 1 active piece is a big difference. So I feel a bit for white. I don't think this was a great trade for them. It's going to be tough for them to make the 2 rooks and the queen work hard enough versus the additional active pieces on black side. Develops, counters, stops the knight from jumping to the B square, but Maxwell, oh, are you okay? What happened? Okay. Blackstall has a way to get here, and then if you move, they can take here and jump back, so it's not really the best bet stop. Oh, never mind, they're not even going there. Doesn't matter. Opens up the file versus the rooks. Doesn't want to be the one trade. Okay, so black's trying not to trade because then white gets control of the file. They want white to take so they can take control of the file, but now white is saying you're going to have to take back with your bishop because I'm attacking your knight. Attacks your queen. I can attack your queen again and again. This is actually, yeah, okay. White's just like kind of inviting black's knight to the best squares now. There's just, oh, okay. They're literally doing the whole thing. Isn't this just hanging now? Yeah, and up there. And this defends everything. This defends that. Also brings the knight to safety. Oh, and this is where we are. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really, yeah, unfortunate for white because you've got extra pressure on the rook, but it's still double defended, so there's no specific problem. I guess for white, if you want to make a problem now, you have to jump over and try and take that bishop out. Because if you can, then this rook is in trouble. And even if you even if they then take, then you at least will take advantage of getting the control of the file. Also, the bishop is what's keeping the knight healthy. So yeah, this is definitely a move to consider. And probably black just has to snap it off. Yeah, I don't think that bishop's protecting 2 pieces. So, oh, doesn't it? Actually, no, unfortunately not. Because it's also then the queen is also doing 2 attacks. So it's not like you can take and then take and then take here, because unfortunately the knight is still defended by either piece. Thank you. Okay. I believe I have to say the phrase happy wife, happy life. Is that correct? Always, yeah. Heard it here first, but not really. Okay, let's keep jumping. I just want to check bufferunderrun still has a bit of time. Okay, this is definitely the game that looks closest to ending, so I just want to make sure we don't miss anything. Jump the knight back. Bring the other rook over onto the D file. Why onto the D file? Why not the C file? Maybe they're intending to push up. No. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I don't see where this pawn is gonna go, so not sure why it matters. Black does have this option. Okay, hang on, what if I just take your pawn now? Then you take, and then you hit me again, I guess? Oh, and black says, yeah, what if I just take your... Oh, white says, what if I just take your pawn now? Interesting. Okay. Oh, sorry, the c pawn is hanging. Yeah, correct. Queen is the one defending it. Okay, so it's a pawn trade. White's got an isolated d pawn for black's connected e pawn. But white's also the one with the aggressively placed pieces. Okay, now everyone's got all the same pawns again. Doesn't really help that much to take back with the queen and just end up in the same position where the queen's off the board. Alright, and a nice little tricky trick. What if I just stop you though? That's going to be a problem for you, isn't it? And it's pinned to your queen. Oh, okay. Black doesn't care about that. Black just wants to take out. Why would they sack the exchange here versus... Oh, because it's check. And then they lose this pawn anyway? Huh. Okay, they can defend the a pawn and get the bishop much more active. Rook has to move, attacks the d pawn. Queen moves, attacks the bishop. This is not looking fun. I guess also with this jump here you can attack this, but after they take they'll be defending it from the back. Maybe you can get your rook over still. Oh, this is where we are right now. If you take... Yeah, I guess they just have to take back. Yeah, that's what's happening. I think you just have to take back as black. Then you can take here. And then this pawn is defended. You just up an exchange on a pawn. This is getting tough for buffer underrun. Tough stuff. Oh my goodness, that is boiling hot. Okay, hang on. Give it a second. Let it cool down a bit. That was way too hot. Alright, back to the other game. Here is guitarspider versus chessdad, and this amazing French. Okay, we saw this, we saw this, we saw this, and then knight jump back, and I wanted to see f6 here. I wanted to have that on the board for some reason, although I don't actually remember exactly why. I think I like the image of them castling queenside and just having kind of, you know, this open board to play with on the king side. Alright, instead just places the pawn on h4. Oh my goodness. I need full Marski with this is tense eat cookies thing right now. This is very interesting. I want guitarspider to win, but I'm loving the way that chessdad is playing this. So interesting stuff. Alright, here comes the knight out. Obviously that would be a weak pawn, and you could also win a pawn there, so kind of have to take back with the rook, take back with the queen. Alright, oh, and no castle, just like putting the king up. I like that too. So king pretty active now, but there's not a lot of squares that white's queen can come into, so pretty safe still. Oh, still too hot. I like that a lot. Okay, yeah, great spot for... Okay, now you can obviously jump over here though, and after that you can place here. Pretty good for black. I guess the one point to watch out for is if they eventually can push back, you have to jump out in a very slow manner, but still actually could be useful. Okay, never mind, just gonna move over. I guess the check doesn't really do that much, you just move sideways, and so that's it. Okay, yeah, and oh, okay. Doesn't even move sideways, just moves over there. So I guess black kind of could have just castled, but they enjoyed hand castling long. Who doesn't enjoy hand castling long, guys? That's hot, hot, hot. That's hot. Pretty good though, but very hot. I like that a lot. Hand castling long. Yeah, here comes the pawn in, just stopping black's knight from coming over. They can always just basically trade off the knights. I don't think white would object to just trading, because after this you'd have to move your knight to avoid trading it. And where are you going to move it to? I guess here is something. But, okay, interesting. So in this position, obviously if white hasn't moved a pawn, they can just push the opposite one up. So it's not an immediate like disaster. Oh, but they go f4? Very interesting. So I expected them to just kind of do this. Okay, hang on. I see. The point being that black can take either way. And then this becomes a half-open file they can pull pressure on. So even if you do here, they'll still take here. And they'll still have pressure on your g-pawn. Oh my goodness. I'm actually so wrong. Here... And then they have a spot they can bring a rook down. That'd be super dangerous, actually. Okay, so not falling for all of that stories. Oh wow. Guitarspider is nobody's slouch, if that's a word. I feel like that's a word. I wonder if you can play like here. Because if they take and you take back, you're hitting the knight, you're defending the pawn. If the knight moves, you're hitting this as well, so the king would have to defend it. Maybe you could bring your queen around in a way that matters. Like here, and just put extra pressure. This takes a move or two, but given that it's where the king is, it might be good. If you push and they push past, well, then you can hit the knight, I guess. And then maybe here. And then maybe there. And then they take, and then you just like hit the queen. And then you can come in with your knight. Man, that would be pretty crazy. I really like the a4 idea as well. Alright, rook over to f1. f1 helps you break here if you want to take. At which point you can then put some pressure on the f file. But things are looking pretty good for black as well. I still think like f6 is a move for black. If they do this, then you probably still have to take, and then they take, and then you take. But yeah, I still feel like black's slightly... Well, maybe actually in that case you shouldn't stuff around with the pawn moving. You should just get your pawn in here. This is obviously the reason this was scary, was that you get your pawn to g3 defended, you're hitting all of these pawns, it's with tempo, so you can then move your other rook into place to also hit the g-pawn. And depending after that, you can even bring your queen around maybe. Also, there might be a version eventually where you have enough pressure to just play g1 with one of the rooks. Dangerous stuff. If they take, you just going off again. If they don't, you have... Oh man. Okay. But I'm pretty certain this is the move for black. I'm surprised they're thinking so long about it. I mean, they have the time. Maybe they're just drinking some tea. Maybe they're just trying to figure out how the continuation goes afterwards. But I would say this is probably the move to expect. Oh, okay. I stand incredibly corrected. Rook g4. Rook g4. Is the point that you want to double up before you force white to react to you? Because I don't think there's anything on this file that really, this row that really matters. If they push, you take. You can't put your rook here because it's going to get gobbled by the knight, so. Rook g4. Okay. Let's go check on buffer underrun. Okay, they've been able to simplify the game quite a bit. Last we saw, this is where we were, the king had just, oh, earthquakes, apologies, hit the table. The king had just taken back and they're losing their d-pawn, and the d-pawn is taken with the queen. And then the queen gets hit by a rook, trade, bishop, rook comes up, queen. I think black definitely wants to take the queens off because they need to get the king active, and it's hard to do when there's a queen sitting around. Blocks the pawn from going anything further. Get some more space. Bishop comes back, hits the other pawn, defends it. Yeah, it's also hard to stay here now because they'd be able to play a3. King's coming out. Oh, okay, and this is where the trade comes. Forcing a trade. Chop chop. Yeah, good stuff not taking because that just advances the pawn one more. Your king's cut off from being able to get there. Your bishop's attacked. You know, they can put their bishop, their rook there and then just move up at some point. So definitely the right move, moving the king instead. Bishop over. Alright, but buffer underrun is also playing a massive uphill battle here. They are down a exchange and down a pawn, so this should be, I don't know, like +2 or 3 or something for white, but still a game to play. Okay, moving that king up. White's going to try and just, you know, work their way in, I guess. Or what they can do also actually, sorry, maybe white just ends up putting their king here, which defends the pawn, and then running their rook around, you know. Checks the king, hits the weak pawns. Yeah. I feel like this is something that, like, no matter what, actually I would play a4 here maybe, just to avoid them stopping my king from coming around this. But anyway, whichever. Black can stop white for a while, but probably at some point white's just going to be able to walk through. What happens here? You defend it, I take. I guess you defend it with your pawn here. Ach, your bishop. Oh, interesting. And I go here, then you go here. Then I hit it, you have to move somewhere. And then I get you here. And I'm attacking. Yeah. I mean, it's easiest for white to keep that isolated pawn just alive the whole time, because then black's king has to stick on it, right? But do something else and then maybe it's worth it. Let that pawn drop to get this pawn instead. Your king's over here. Black king's trying to make something happen, and then eventually you just sack the rook for the bishop at the right moment, I think. Tough stuff. Tough stuff. Alright, ribrubrib. Oh, ribrubrib is done. Okay. Let's just go here. We lost a piece here. Yes. We saw that. Okay, they did come in. Yeah, so this is where we saw the game last. This I definitely think is the best move for black. Just getting that rook in there, hitting the bishop, hitting the b-pawn behind it. defends, and that feels like a mistake. I'm pretty sure you were supposed to put your bishop here. Oh, your rook here. But anyway, pretty good anyway. Okay. Oh, what a good find by black. Check this out. So you're gonna get traded, but there's this in-between move which hits the king and the rook for check, and the king just has to move. He can't do anything about it. Oh, and this is where the game ended. Tough one, rib. That was a tricky opening. I actually missed the fact that you only lost a pawn, but then you unfortunately went down that piece as well. Hey, that's a tough one. I do appreciate people playing on and trying to make it work, of course. We do all want to try and play some good chess, and also we want to learn from both our and our opponent's mistakes. And I can also learn a bit by watching, so thanks a lot for the game, guys. I see MatthewKCanada is busy studying this. Looks like someone who's taking some of the games a bit more. Oh, actually, hang on. Mongrel Tiger. I don't know who that is, but Mongrel Tiger is the one who's opened up a study on this game. Okay. And then Matthew K said, bookmarked, thank you. So maybe this is someone who's busy showing someone else some analysis. I wonder. Let's quickly have a look. Let's see. Okay, yeah, unfortunately here you just had to take with the pawn. There was no way around it. In terms of opening theory, here we go with the Scotch. They've accepted, takes, and then this one is called the Schmidt defense. Okay. Takes, queen over. F3 is the move. I was mega unsure about F3, but apparently that is main theory. D5 is theory, bishop E5 is theory, taking with the knight is theory, whichever way. Bishop D, bishop... Oh, okay. Okay. Here we were supposed to take with the... Oh, I think it's because you lose a tempo, actually. There's also the chance that, you know, we all trade. So, if you take with the bishop and they take with their bishop, then I guess this might be the situation. But they take with the pawn and you don't have to move your bishop, which is here, because your knight is unattacked, so you can just castle. That's probably the main theory point then, yeah. Okay, so that's where we varied, and then unfortunately here, just the mistake of not realizing there's a second pawn to help on this pin. That's tough. Alright, GG guys, good game though. I think black found some good moves. And white also tried to make the best of what is a tough situation. Yeah, look, it's tough if you have to basically trade off your last active minor piece and fix their pawns, and that's your best option. That's, yeah, at this point I don't think we're playing stockfish best moves. We're really trying to play the person, not the engine, right? So yeah. Alright, GG. On to Oxnateri. Okay, so the O'Kelly that's been active. Hey Jose, good to see you, man. Now you got a team with your name now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that, and the team is doing like ridiculously well. It's kind of like silly. I'm the only one who hasn't won a game yet. Yeah, just I didn't pick that, by the way. That was not me. That was Falstan, the guy who's, or the person, I don't even know if it's a guy, sorry, who's our captain. They just kind of said, we got to do this. I don't actually remember the logic behind it, but yeah, they suggested it, and then everyone thought that was really silly, but kind of silly in a fun way, I guess, because everyone reacted to it, and we didn't have any other amazing suggestions, so yeah. And then I thought I would double down, so my fantasy team is exactly the same set of players. I didn't feel like I should put my own name into the fantasy team, so I just put starting an LLC to reference our team name. So yeah, it's a silly situation, but it's fun, obviously, and since we're doing good, obviously I'm really happy with that. The dream, right, would be that in this season we end up winning the league, because then I would probably win fantasy as well, or I would get a really good score, so that would be a massive, amazing double whammy. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, man, even if I didn't pick it, it's still a good time. Hang on, I gotta get my power back on here. There we go. Yeah, no. I just feel like I should explain in case people think I'm a massive narcissist. Not at that level, but yeah, it's fun times. How are you doing, by the way? Are you? Are you actually in Australia, by the way? I feel like I forgot to ask if you're actually there, and I just like assumed it the whole time we were chatting last time. Hang on, quickly going back to the game. This was the O'Kelly where I thought that black kind of misplayed the advantage, but then they found an amazing combination here by taking with the bishop and then placing, pushing with e4. So white got out of the way, and I think correctly took back with the light square bishop instead of trying to take the bishop there because they just, lose more pieces, makes the game harder to win. Good move by black actually, so I'm up a piece, and if you take, I can connect my isolated pawn, so less isolated pawn is pretty good, right? Just defends it with the rook, who says, okay, you can trade, but I want activity. Honestly, I think that might not be bad for black either, but, yeah, just developing their knight, not bad. c4, so white being up a piece, sorry, white being down a piece, trying to make something happen here. Takes the bishop, and this is where we're sitting, okay. Now it's black to play, so they can take here, and then they've got two isolated pawns, and they're down a pawn, but they have an extra minor piece, so should be pretty good for them still. Sony, especially because it's not a white doesn't have a knight, so they can't like go and funny fork some pieces or something, unfortunately. So that should be pretty good for them. You played someone. Oh wait, you played someone who did the England gambit today. Nice. How did your game go, by the way? I hope it went pretty well. I'm assuming if you was happy to face an opponent playing the England gambit, does that mean that you won because you know how to counter it, or do you just enjoy playing against the England gambit? What's the deal with your happiness about that? Let's just have a look here. Oh, okay, a little in-betweener, just hitting the queen instead. And now it's white's move. White needs to make something happen, but I don't know what. I probably don't want to happen. Oh, sorry. Queen hanging around within distance of knights. You might just have to drop back, unfortunately. You still keep an eye on your c-pawn so you can take back if you need to. Alright, let's go around to Freddy. Freddy versus Gratis. So in this game, yeah, we were about here, and it looked like white was basically inviting black onto the best squares for their knight. And then they also got to take, and then white was kind of doing a little double, but I don't think there was too much to it, unfortunately, because they could just drop the knight back and defend that. And then I thought, oh, this is where we were lost. I thought that knight e5, if they could take the light square bishop, white would be in a great position because both of these pieces would be vulnerable. So black probably would have to take it, but anyway, it looked like a good try. Maybe, okay, well, white decides it's not a good try. Where are they going with this? You can't go there. Even if you go here, you can't go there. So is this like a massive roundabout to take and then hit the a-pawn again? Defends the a-pawn so long. Okay, doubling up on the file maybe. Oh my goodness, okay. That was a mistake, sorry. Okay. Yeah, knight d2, I'm not so sure. Maybe they're just trying to keep the pawn healthy, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what knight d2's real main point was, unfortunately. Maybe I'm missing something. Okay, defends the pawn, rook c2, rook c1. Nice little pressure down this file. This square is actually open right now, so white could just walk in. It's the card causing mayhem in the back. Hits the queen. Luckily there's nothing else on the diagonal. Queen drops back, hits the knight. Okay, creates a little tricky. You could maybe double attack something, but I don't know. There's no super amazing discovery. You would just trade off a knight for a knight. Never mind. Okay. Oh yeah, this is pretty good, I think, in general. For black, being able to get the bishop out might be good, although most of the action of the game is sitting on the queen side, right? So this diagonal, this one, only covers a small bit of the active space of the games. I don't know if you'd actually want to take it to the king side. Maybe this is just getting some more moves in. Alright, back to defending. Okay, knight, this is... Wow, this game is taking wild turns. Take. Sacks the exchange. Okay. Did we just lose a piece? White has a rook for 2 minor pieces. Is that right? Alright, so that's now equal. And then they lost an exchange. Okay, so now they have just... Oh my goodness, hang on. Did I miscount this game? Hang on. Hey, oh, sorry, Jose, you're saying so much. I need to be checking as well. I'm trying to count this game properly. You won? Congrats, man. Facing this game several times in Rapid and once in Classical OTB as well. Nice. One of the most of the times except 1-2 games. Cool, man. So I guess you are an England Gambit expert to some degree, or at least you're fairly well versed. You can see the board 6 game of Team Something by tomorrow in case you're interested. Yeah. Hang on, let me quickly open up the pairings and I'll just go look at that game later. Here you are. It's this one, right? Nice one. I'll keep it in the back and take a look later. Let me just see if I can count this properly, because I seem to be missing something massively. So white's down a pawn, and they've got a rook for 2 minor pieces, right? Oh yeah, because they gave the exchange, right? Okay, so now white has no advantage. The advantage was that they had a rook, but I guess that wasn't really an advantage because they never got to play it. Although I think they had a chance here to get into this square, which I thought might be good. Maybe it wasn't. Thought they might be good. Okay. So, traded that off. Now black says I will get myself onto this diagonal. I don't really know if that's... Okay, they're just making white move some pieces. Now we get into c7 all of a sudden. Okay, hits the pawn. Now you can hit the queen as well. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's versions of the... Oh no, you can't. Maybe this still. Also hitting the b pawn. Alright, defends it, hits the queen. I mean, the queen could just come over here though and just... Oh, okay. Anyway. Moves for black in this situation. I think they can actually just continue pushing their a-pawn. They've locked their bishop out of the game somewhat, so white can technically come mess it around, but I think I can just push the a-pawn and make it... never mind, they're going to hit the queen. I think they could have just gone here and started to threaten a promotion and then made the outside passer, because white probably would have to take, right? So yeah, thanks, man. Oh, no. So I mean, the fact that I need time to count means I'm clearly not counting properly. How do I... But it's not often that you see like a rook for 2 minor pieces and then they trade it back and they just end up with like down a minor piece, you know. That's just not like a combination of moves that I've often have to like figure out, so I'm a little bit confused what happened there. Anyway, attacks the pawn. Okay, I kind of feel like that just proves the point here. Should probably just go there and then just push, because this bishop is keeping the front pawn alive. Although I don't like this bishop here, to be honest. I think it needs to go. Even if you go here, I don't know. I don't think the bishop should be here. It's kind of easy to get messed around. If the king's here, you have to run it somewhere, and then it's literally one move to push you out again. So you can't go here, so you can't defend this pawn long term. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if white would be happy with a perpetual. I guess they would, being down a piece. Okay, pushes the b pawn. I mean, I guess it's okay. Maybe they want to hit the queen and then they want to move this up. Probably not losing or anything. Let's have a look at this crazy game over here by drchessdad and guitarspider. Absolute bananas. Okay, we had that by-hand castling by black. That was kind of fun. We had this move, which I originally didn't think was that dangerous, but turned... Oh, you know what? I'm just falling asleep. Clearly, you take once, and then you push. I think that's the way you deal with this. But you have to take this way, obviously, because you still want to keep a pawn in front of your king. Anyway, guitarspider placed f4 instead. Slightly different intention. Probably trying to break open on another file and create some action with their knight, because their knight is still active, right? Black's knight is falling asleep in the back row. It's not doing much. Alright, oh, okay, in this move I was very surprised. I expected rook g3. Clearly just, you know, very active, pressure here still, pressure along this file, you get a tempo on the queen. But black said they don't need that. Maybe there's a reason that they wanted to avoid forcing white to move their queen. Maybe they kind of want white to continue pushing because they've got some other plan. Okay, and indeed white does push. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, so black came here to avoid white from changing their plan. I guess they didn't want white to change their plan, but they did want to get their pieces in a position. Okay, out comes the rook to defend, the pawn to push it, and so now if you take, black gets a check that you have to take again, and then it's, oh, then it's not mate. Well, then they can take with a queen, like they can promote to a queen, then you have to take again, and take, and then it's just a queen versus a rook, so dangerous. Okay, what happens against this, guys? Okay. I guess you could have just done that immediately as well. Oh no, you couldn't have. What am I talking about? The queen's looking right at it. Okay, so sack the pawn and then you get this here, and now black has to decide if they want to just go ahead with the story. If they want to take here, then I guess white's able to come in and do a little bit dangerous. Oh, okay, never mind. That would be terrible. So this is, okay, now here's probably the scary point. Or is it? Or is it that they're going to put their rook over here? No, but actually this rook can't move because this is just disaster town. So what happens after this? Why would you be thinking a long time about this move? This take back seems very obvious. Maybe you just don't want white to get a doubled open file. They can force to trade some pieces. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Take here, and if they eventually get to a point where they can trade off your backwards rook, check you, your king has to go up, they check you again, and they pick up this b pawn, and suddenly your whole situation is falling apart. The queen is also over here able to do that, so dangerous. Black plays for activity instead. Look at this. Oh my goodness. So they have this move. And if you want to come here, then they can take and then try and promote. So, oh my goodness, guys, this is serious business. I do see there's also, after this, there's this with the potential to hit this backwards knight, but the back rank rook, but maybe it's too slow. So if you move, I take, and if you take, it's mate. If you move and don't take, what to do, that's tough. Oh, what just happened? Black resigned? Black resigned? Whoa! Okay, this is definitely high level chess. I'm still thinking white is winning, now black resigned. What in the world did I miss? Is it because of this? Here, you have to take. Then here, you have to take. Then here. Then you have to go up. Then here. Oh my goodness. Here, oh no, sorry, take here, take here, take here, which also hits the knight, the queen from the back. Or is it just take here, take here, take here, take here, take here. Oh my goodness. Okay, apparently ESX7 is completely winning for white, but this is super interesting. Definitely need, I would have taken way more time to try and calculate this a bit. Let's have a look at the analysis quickly. Very interesting. Congrats, guitarspider. I really love the way that black played, but obviously I was hoping that guitarspider won, just because I know them. I don't really know chessdad so well because we haven't played in the team together, or I've chatted to them much in other channels, but I love the way that they played the actual game. I'm sorry that they lost, but I guess there can only be one winner. Let's have a look quickly at what the graph. Oh, the graph is actually happening right now. Okay, let's give it a second. Give it a second, then we will see. What a game. Maybe I need to refresh. There we go. Okay. Very, very equal. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see what this extended bishop swap. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's basically what you're doing. You're looking for the extended bishop swap, right? Yeah, so a3 and bishop over. Not a lot of master games, but it is a way to go. Okay. Absolutely amazing stuff. This was so interesting. I want to write GG. What an interesting game. So cool. Yeah, here I was really looking forward to 8 f6, but anyway. Yeah, Yeah. Oh, no way! Oh, no way, no way, no way. This was the move. I was looking at, like, I was like, oh man, I want to play, oh, whoopsie daisy. I want to play a4. This is the position I was hoping to play it in, I think. Or maybe I was hoping to play it here. No, it had to be up first, yeah. F4 was very unexpected. Um, but yeah, apparently is it a solid way to play. And then I did expect this, but it seems that's not the biggest problem. Yeah. Okay, so this is a mistake. Okay. Oh, okay, then this is also a mistake. You needed to stick around to defend this, I guess. And still, again, just want to trade off that knight. Oh man, and just totally. That is so tough. Black's got three blunders in a row, but it's really hard to see them as being like h3. I actually understood it as being you want to get the spot for your queen. I guess, yeah, you could have done that first. And then you get the spot that you were hoping to get. And then you're hoping that they go here. Oh my goodness. What a game. GG. Very interesting. I'm not going to spend all my time analyzing it though, but I will definitely share the recording across in case they want to hear us just enjoying their game from the sidelines. Oh, okay. Bufferunderrun and jpgmich is also done. Let's quickly run over and see what happened here. Bufferunderrun. Oh yeah, did go on to lose. This is a very tough spot for black to be in for sure. Let's see. This is basically where we stopped last time. So queen does come up, bishop back, check the king, back again. Okay. Black's basically trying to avoid making committing moves. Okay, and here white decides it is worth sacking the middle pawn for the side pawn. King's up. Okay. Okay, I mean you do still have this, so you could take it if you need to, but I think you'd still just be losing, unfortunately. Okay, tries to open things up a bit. Okay, and then called it a day. At this point you can take, but then you just down a rook. If you don't, then they're going to promote. And yeah, this was an interesting game as well. Oh my goodness, okay. So way back here, just dropping the b pawn is where everything started to go tough. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I also saw, the b pawn, but I assumed that there was some nice plan there. It could be that black just missed it, or it could be that a plan. I actually thought maybe their plan was that they wanted to try and bring the rook over and then push the bishop around or something. I was wrong. I guess, because anyway, that's not what happened. So okay. Oh, okay. You know what? No. Then I thought, oh look, they changed. They traded the c pawn, so I thought it was fine. But wow, apparently this is just mega bad. That is just, it's just +4 the entire time. Because your middle is just dropping. Yeah. Oh, GG. That was a tough game. And white just never let go with their advantage all the way through. Good play though. Yeah, I mean I didn't see this being nearly as dramatic as that. Yeah, I mean, even made sense to take the pawn afterwards. Oof, tough. Alright, we've got hang on. One more game that has finished already. Freddy versus Gratis. Alright, so Gratis also finished versus Freddy, and unfortunately Freddy wasn't able to hold the game together. Oh wow, okay, yeah, just since that continuation at the start, things have just been looking bleak. That's tough. But let's see, we were over here. Yeah, and I thought that black should just kind of move the a pawn up. Have to be, oh, sorry. E4 instead. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, you can take because you can take here again and just win a pawn. Not that it's the best, you're still down a minor piece unfortunately, and black gets their rook all the way in. Oh, that is dangerous stuff. Oh, and it's minus 4. Okay, just trying to get checks, because what else to do? Okay, and here, white resigned. Yeah, that's a tough one. GG Freds, GG Gratis. It all came down to this original jump. We didn't end up playing all the moves. Here, 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 here. I thought this was going to be like the complete continuation, but I guess this just immediately points out that you're down a piece. Maybe white just kind of realized halfway and like, oh, stop. This could have been fun too, though. You do win that f pawn in this variation. Oh, actually, hang on. Probably this is how you take, because you want to just get that, and then there's an isolated pawn. Anyway, alright, GG guys, that was an interesting game as well. And the very last game that we have running, if I'm not mistaken, is this one, yeah. And there actually supposed to be another game starting now, but I'm gonna go to bed, I think, now, so let's just see what's been happening with the O'Kelly. Oh yeah, that nice trick. Yeah. Takes. Okay, this is where we stop last. Queen c2, takes the pawn, takes another pawn. Okay, so white is down a minor piece, but they do have an isolated a pawn to try and work with. Currently, it's not going anywhere though, because that a4 square is double protected. Apologies. So, I mean, ideally you probably want to get your rook over here, and then you want to get your bishop over here, because then it's protecting that and there, and you can try and push through, I guess. Maybe it's too slow. Oh, and this is where we are now. White definitely not up for trying to trade queens. So probably they're trying to figure out where they can go instead. So there. I see also there might be a little trick here where black takes this pawn after you take back with the bishop, they jump their knight somewhere. And then they take the bishop. We'll have to see if this happens though. Hey Jose, I see you loitering in this game as well, having a look around. Yo. Man, there were some interesting games today. I think though that this is going to be it for me. I think we've reached my extent. I still have to wake up tomorrow to play my own game. So thank you very much for everyone that came past, for everyone that stuck around. And I'll be passing it across for some people. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow when we have to do our own game. Hopefully we'll be awake enough to enjoy it. So be safe and take care, and we'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.